When Travis came on board, it felt different. It felt more relaxed, less stress, like a weight had come off, like this is what we were missing. But then when Bill came on board, I was like, that's the final piece right there. Despite Bill not knowing how to play the keyboard, just what he does on it, as soon as we started playing with it, I'm like, that's it right there. I've always wanted a keyboard in our band, and I got shot down mostly by Nick many times in the early days, but I got shot down by Nick for a lot of things. So
because we don't want to sound like an 80s band. This is me doing my Nick impression. If we have a keyboard player, we're going to sound like an 80s band, and I do not want to be an 80s band. That's not what I want to do. I want to be like a punk rock kind of band. That's what I want to do. That's what T3 is. That's what it is. That's what our sound is, and it shouldn't ever change.
That first practice we had back, it was funny because I remember previously we were practicing at Nick's house, but he had moved out over that past Christmas or somewhere in there, and so that was a concern we had when we were coming back. Like, what are we going to do? So Derek offered up, hey, we'll just practice in my garage like his old bands used to do. And I showed up there. It was going to be a Saturday, and I was all excited. I hadn't seen everybody in months, so I was excited not only to see everybody, but to play this music again. And when I got there, Bill was over, and he was helping Derek clear out the garage. And I think Bill's intent was just to come hang out because he had some free time. But they had a keyboard there for some reason. I don't really know why. Tracy's keyboard. And they had that keyboard there, and Derek just kind of looks at it for a minute, and he looks and he goes, Bill, you should play keyboards for us. And I kind of laughed. I was like, yeah, Bill, play keyboards for us. It'd be great. Sit in with us today. Kind of joking for a minute. But then Derek really put, he goes, no, I'm serious. Bill, you need to play keyboards for us.
It's totally my idea to bring Bill on. And then I don't think I really knew where that was going to go for a little while, but yeah.
I don't remember what Travis's reaction was.
I remember showing up to Derek's house, and Bill was there, and it wasn't entirely out of place to see Bill at T3, or involved with T3. I mean, he did more stuff with T3 before I joined him, so it wasn't weird. I remember we got there, and there's a keyboard there, and I'm like, what's going on? And you're like, apparently Bill's joining the band. Oh, yeah, Bill said he should play, or Derek said he should play keys, and so that's what's happening. Can he play keys? We'll see. Okay. So yeah, that was my first reaction to it. It was just like, band meeting or anything? I mean, maybe I'm stepping out of bounds. That seems kind of weird. But it worked out okay.
Yeah. Or what Nick's reaction was.
Oh yeah, we were at Derek's place, and then you're like, hey, Bill's in the band. And we're like, okay. Yeah, that's pretty much when Bill came on. They were like, we have keyboards. And Bill was like, ah!
But I don't remember anybody disagreeing, saying no.
I'm probably one of the more headstrong people in the band. Like, as far as if I think something should be done a certain way, I have no problem telling people this should be done a certain way. But at the same time, I'm still the new guy. And so it's just like, maybe this is how things are done. Who am I to say no,
Chaos, that's what we do.
Just throw it to the wind. Let's see what happens.
We do it all willy-nilly, that's what we do.
I had reservations. I know Bill. I've worked with Bill. And so I had reservations, not necessarily, because I never knew him as a keyboard player. And so I was just like, I know him as a person. I like him as a person. Can he play this instrument? We'll see, I guess. We've already committed to it, so we'll see what happens.
Well, so I played music with Bill forever. Since we were in the 10th grade, I'm pretty sure. Something like that. So, sophomores in high school all the way up through 2000, whatever.
And then was just hanging out with Derek one day and was literally just messing around with him, and then y'all T3 was going to have practice,
And he's like, just stick around.
His initial opinion on T3 was that you guys are a lot of fun, but your music is terrible.
I was like, why? This is your practice time. And he's like, nah, you can play pianos or something. Like, I don't play pianos.
I knew I could count on Bill. I knew that Bill was quirky and fun, and he was hilarious. We had a musical rapport with each other. We were, we already had that language instilled in us. And
I know Chopsticks and Heart and Soul that I can't play at the same time because I'm not interdependent with my hands. And he's like, no, it's good. It's good.
Because we debated on whether or not to get a second guitar player or a keyboard player. We felt like it would diversify our sound a lot more if we had somebody that could do keyboards. And the stuff that we wanted on keyboards was going to be very simple and therefore wouldn't take a very skilled keyboard player to pull it off. It wouldn't take somebody who had been doing it forever, super experienced. And I was like, well, Bill can read music, has played music for a long time, knows his way around a piano keyboard, is quirky, fun, and awesome, would be a great fit for this thing that we're looking for this band.
Everybody starts setting that up, and Robert's like, are you here? And I'm sitting there at the pianos and with the keyboard, and Derek's like, he's going to play keyboard with us. And that's how I entered the group.
100% me thinking that was a good idea, just like bullhorning that in there, if that's a word. I don't know that. No, that's exactly what happened, and it was yeah, it was not the. In retrospect, it was not the right way to make that decision.
And Bill was bald then too.
I think Bill just made that much of an impact. Like I said, I don't remember very well, but I do remember feeling that sound filled, and it felt like that was what we were missing the whole time. So it became natural that when he came in that he started playing in it, and it made sense.
More influence, even if it's, Bill's chaotic, mess of creativity, even if he doesn't even know what he's playing. There's still something there. I mean, in Travis, he's, basically the opposite of Bill. He's very, very organized in how he writes things and very methodical. And I think, but that's the spectrum is so wide in our band and how we write things in general and all that stuff. I just think they added more balance with one seemed so imbalanced, the other one had it's like if we were completely organized, we wouldn't be the Testicles. If we were completely chaotic, we wouldn't have lasted more than 3 days. I think all of us just mix together and have just that magic.
I don't remember exactly what he played during the first few rehearsals. Like, I know there was stuff like on Let Go. It was just a bunch of screams, and so it was just like, I don't know if I was completely sold on it until the first show we had with him. And then Bill's got this stage presence that I don't think anybody can match. And so once we got to that point where we played a show, and it wasn't like I wasn't sold like, oh, this is going to be a disaster because Bill's on stage, but it was once we played that first show and you see what Bill brings to the live show, it's just like, yeah, okay. He could just get up there and fart, but it would still be great. The show would be classic every time. And then it turned out like he actually started writing parts that were, fit the song and took a lot of the weight off. I feel like what he does takes a lot of the weight off the guitar. Like, and I'll be the first to say I'm not the best guitarist in the world, and so, if I'm, going to write a rhythm, if I'm playing a rhythm part, he can write a melody to that, which takes a lot of the pressure off me to make the song sound fuller, and so it was a very happy surprise.